CFA Institute Research Foundation. Investment management, a science to teach or an art to learn. So we're going to do that. I also have this crazy thing here. It's called Voglia di cucinare classici, cocktail classici ed esotici. Giunti di metra. I don't know. I guess it's part Italian, part Russian. I don't know. I'm a Russian spy. Who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen? It's gonna happen. With Bellerophon. Anybody remember that fun Mission Impossible thing? Chimera. They recently made a drone that's a Chimera. Was it iFlight or something that made the Chimera? And that was a kerfuffle of its own. Fun stuff. Anyway, so I said I was going to be back in a few minutes. And guess what? It's me. I'm the problem. It's me. Dependable. What's going to happen if more businesses had dependable people? I don't know. Just never going to get a job. It's not up to me. Remember that, kids. It's not up to you. Well, it is. You got to know how to dress nice. I do that. You got to know how to be coachable. You got to know how to be nice to people and all that stuff. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Because they got to pick you. Remember that. They got to pick you. They got to go, oh, that's the guy. That's the guy that I want working for my company. And so the funny thing, because I was explaining to you guys about this earlier, right? Just in case you guys didn't see the previous video, you guys can go watch it in detail, in all the gory detail. You guys can go watch that in all the gory detail. I can't remember where the heck did I put that poster? That beautiful poster. It was amazing. Where is it? Here it is. Found it. There it is. The poster. There it is. The poster. So as I said before, my next door neighbor who does not want to go. To jury duty. He number one, not 100%, does not want to go to jury duty. So he had to postpone it even. But they want him to be a juror, and he doesn't want to be a juror. Stop asking him to be a juror. I want to be a juror. Call me. Next door. Call me next door. They didn't want me. They picked him. And he doesn't want to go. What's the matter with the world today? Same here. I wanted this job so bad. I was like really wanting this job. It's the perfect job for me. Why? Because I love talking to people. I love dogs, so I'm not worried about the big Doberman or whatever. So it's a perfect job for me. I get a vehicle to drive around the neighborhoods. It's the perfect thing for me. I like mail. I like people. I like showing up and say, hey, how's it going? Here's your mail. I'm a customer service person. You can ask me any questions you want. You can go through my entire YouTube channel. I respond to people's comments if they're related to the video. If it's some insult, I will be snarky back. It's what I do. There will not be insults reflected back, but I will be snarky. OMG. Let's jump into investment management, a science to teach or an art to learn. Let's get in there. And then maybe later we'll do voglia di cucinare cocktail classici e esotici. That's pretty fun. It's not the kid friendliest, but you know what? You could learn the skill, and then when you're old enough, you could be a mixologist. That's a really good job. Another job that I would have loved to do if I could keep a couple of things in my brain. Because that'd be pretty fun. You shake mix, you shake some drinks, you give it out to people. I've studied things that you wouldn't imagine. All the knowledge that I've put together in 40 years of life is pretty much pointless because nobody wants to hire me. They want to hire my next door neighbor to be the juror. He doesn't want to go. See, this is one of the funny things in life, right? I got my good friend Charles the Great. He doesn't want to be a teacher. Everybody wants him to be a teacher. He doesn't want to. He wants to do what he wants to do. Grandmaster Tom Wong is probably tired of teaching. After so many years of teaching, he's probably tired. He doesn't want to teach anymore. But people want him to teach. Does anybody want me to teach? No. No. I'm ready and able. Nobody wants me to teach. They give me all kinds of stuff. You're overqualified for the position, so you take away your master's degrees. You don't put those in when you apply for things because you're overqualified for a position. Then you show up with other things. No, I think you're probably okay with the job, but I need you to do this certification. I went through that a couple of times. I did that reading program for the Montessori. Would they take me? No. Go to school. Would they pay for my for the time for me to study to become good enough to do the job that I was already doing? No. No. The world we live in is a ridiculous place, and if we don't do something about it, don't worry about me. I'm fine. Don't worry about me. But more and more people will be sitting there asking for that UBI. Why? Because make it easier for people to get employed. That's all. Just make it easier for people to get employed. And people will get employed, and they will come and they will do the job, and the companies will be happy. A lot of the companies that I used to talk to when I was doing the online HR thing that I used to do, they're all about, we can't find people. Are you making it so that people can actually do the jobs that you're asking to do? Or are you just that famous? Fit them in a box. Anyway, so as a result, we're going back to the management stuff. They all invest in the same risky portfolio, the market portfolio. Their portfolios differ only in the amount allocated to cash, the riskless asset. So Robert Merton, 1973, distinguished professor of finance at Sloan School of Management at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, and a co-recipient of the 1997 Nobel Prize in Economics, extended the CAPM in a dynamic environment in his seminal work. The Merton model is a multi-period model in which decisions are made by considering not only next period returns, but also the entire future price process of assets. Mainstream economic theory developed in parallel with mainstream finance theory in the 1960s and 1970s in what is called the rational expectations revolution. The starting point was the so-called Lucas critique. Professor Lucas observed that the estimation of the effect of changes in government policy is made effective by the fact that economic agents anticipate these changes and change their behavior. Therefore, he advocated giving a micro foundation to microeconomics that is explaining microeconomics in terms of the behavior of individual agents. The result was a tendency in mainstream economic theory for macroeconomic models to be based on a multitude of agents characterized by rational expectations, optimization, and equilibrium. Mainstream finance theory uses the same basic structure as general equilibrium economics. It assumes markets are populated by a multitude of agents, and each agent is identified by a utility function that assigns a numerical value to each possible investment choice. Each agent receives a stochastic random stream of endowments, exogenous positive cash flows. Endowments can represent any cash flow received outside of financial investments, such as salaries, gifts, or inheritance. At each trading moment, agents decide how much they want to consume, how much they want to invest in financial assets, and how much they want to keep as cash. The principle of dynamic equilibrium in finance theory requires that at each moment prices are such that the global demand for assets is equal to the global offer of assets. In the absence of arbitrage, the assumption is that all agents can be aggregated into a single representative agent, the consumption stream, and the price process generated by this representative agent are the same as aggregated consumption relative price processes obtained by optimizing individual agents. This is fun. This is so fun, guys. So fun. The assumptions made in mainstream finance theory are clearly unrealistic. So is mainstream finance theory, or generally current mainstream microeconomic theory, an empirical science at all in the modern sense. That is a theory based on observations? It's a good question. Many would argue that financial economics does not belong to the realm of empirical science, but to do that social sciences instead. Michael Oliver, a senior lecturer in finance at the Open University and co-founder of Global Partnership Family Offices, remarked, "Economics is a social science, not a physical science." Excuse my humanity. All right, let's continue. The meaning behind this remark is that separating pure economics from political economics is difficult. In short, different economic theories correspond to different political choices. Economics and finance have as their subject an artifact, the economy or the markets, not laws of nature. The artifact is context-specific. It is not independent of social or political objectives. Hence, separating empirical laws from statements of principles is not easy. In his article, "How Should the Finance Crisis Change How We Teach Economics?" Right? How should the finance or the financial crisis change how we teach economics? In 2010, I'm not sure what that means, Robert Schiller, professor of economics at Yale University and co-recipient of the 2013 Nobel Prize in Economics, remarked on the number of critics of current mainstream economics. He concluded, "The reason there are such strong views about profession going astray is that we do not have good scientific microeconomic theories. We do not even have good ways of developing them." On page 406, something happens. I'm not sure what that is, but they mention it, so I'll tell you. Some have argued that the reason mainstream microeconomics and mainstream finance theory are not scientific can be found in the design of these disciplines. John Kay, a distinguished British economist and visiting professor at the London School of Economics, observed that mainstream economics is a logical theory based on unrealistic assumptions without any consideration of real data. Professor Kay, 2012, observed the distinguishing characteristics of mainstream economists' approach is that the list of unrealistic simplifying assumptions is extremely long, page 15. Discussing the ineffectiveness of policy, and we might add investment decisions based on the assumptions of modern microeconomics, Professor Kay went on to cite John Cochrane, professor of finance at the University of Chicago, Booth School of Business, who agrees that assumptions used are, as usual, obviously not true. That Professor Kay remarked would be the end of the discussion for any reasonable scientist. Professor Cochrane argued, however, that this endlessly playing with unrealistic hypotheses is exactly the right way of doing things. In the same article, Professor Kay commented on the absurdity that a priori dedication from a particular set of unrealistic simplifying assumptions is not simply a tool, but as stated by the University of Chicago's Gary Becker, winner of the 1992 Nobel Prize in Economics, the heart of the economic approach, which is on page 55. Exhibit 1.1 summarizes the defense and some of the critiques of mainstream economic and finance theory and notes some elements that have been proposed that would characterize an alternative theory. Let's show you exhibit 1 of 1. Here it is. For your personal enjoyment, enjoy it. Poking holes in theory. Mainstream finance theory is considered to be the unrealistic, not only because its main assumptions are unrealistic, but also because the entire theoretical construction is not related to observable quantities. For example, such crucial data is future dividends and returns are not observable. In his book, Dynamics of Markets, 2009, University of Houston professor of physics Joseph Macaulay noted, the idea of dividends and returns discounted infinitely into the future of financial assets is very shaky because it makes impossible information demands on our knowledge of future dividends and returns. That is, it is impossible to apply with any reasonable degree of accuracy. Page 65 tells you more. The fact that the theory makes impossible demands on our knowledge is a crucial point that affects all mainstream general equilibrium theories. Fundamental theoretical variables such as prices are defined as the discounted present value of an infinite stream of future quantities that are not observable. Contrast this circumstances with physics, in which many theoretical terms are not directly observable but are defined through the theory of itself. Consider temperature. We cannot directly observe temperature, which is a theoretical term interpreted as the amount of energy associated with the motion of certain molecules. All theoretical terms used to define temperature, however, are defined in function of observables. For example, suppose you measure the temperatures of the body by using a clinical thermometer with a mercury column. What you actually observe is not temperature, but the elongation of the mercury column. We translate the elongation of the mercury column into temperature because we have a global theory that links temperature with other observable characteristics, such as length and volume. These terms are indeed observable. Thus, temperature can be defined, and it is a useful concept because it helps explain other observed phenomena. Economic finance theory, on the contrary, define terms in function of quantities that are not observable, nor can they be defined in function of observables. Quantities such as future dividends are not defined through a process of forecasting based on past data. If these terms were defined as a function of past data, then mainstream finance would be based on observable data. Mainstream finance, however, is based on future clearing, not observable data. In practice, any present value model of asset prices, that is, any model of that, says that today's price is based on discounted future cash flows, makes forecasts of unobservable future quantities. In addition to this problem, which is fundamental, the critique of mainstream finance theory makes 3 key points that can be summarized as follows. No real agent has a perfect knowledge of the future, not even in a probabilistic sense. Hence, the notion of rational expectations is unrealistic. Because real agents have mutual interactions and are not coordinated solely by a central price signal, agents cannot be collapsed into a single representative agent. Number 3, economics are rarely in a state of equilibrium. And so with all that said, guys, we will continue on with Alan Kerman in 2009, starting tomorrow on page 7, I guess, because we do this kind of thing. We are reliable. We will be there, rain or shine, as you've seen today, making these videos for you guys, although not many show up to see because it's YouTube. And you say, well, why don't you do these on the other platforms such as TikTok more often? I might start doing that because it looks like YouTube is really not the place to be for for live streaming. But don't tell the YouTube crowd that. Don't tell the YouTube crowd that, because they will be offended. If you look at the polls on YouTube about where's the best place to live stream, they tell you YouTube, because it's YouTube. Is that not biased? Is that not biased, guys? Come on. Anyway, so voglia di cucinare, cocktail, classici ed esotici. Let's take a look at this thing. In the back, it's got something more to say. Preparare cocktail è un'arte semplice e raffinata. In questo libro, oltre alle ricette dei classici più amati, troverete tante idee per nuove combinazioni colorate, invitati inebrianti e tanti suggerimenti per riempire di allegria feste, rinfreschi, incontri e ogni occasione speciale. The art of the Italian language. Oh my gosh, guys. Oh my gosh. They wouldn't hire me as dog catcher. Forget about pizza places. Forget about valet. They won't take me anywhere, guys. Armonie in un bicchiere. Imagine that. They won't even take me as Italian professor. I could be an Italian professor easily. I could teach. Nobody wants to learn Italian. This is America. Nobody wants to learn Italian. I can't teach Spanish. I could learn Spanish and try to teach Spanish, but then I would have to compete with all the people who are of a Spanish origin. And why would they pick me? Like, I could be a French professor. My French is pretty good. But can I do it? No, because I'm competing with people from Canada. Who's going to be better at French? A Canadian, right? With at least one person in the family who is, 100% fluent. Or me. And all I wanted to do was be, one of those people that works in customer service. Give me a phone. I will be your customer service agent. I wanted this job. I wanted to be a juror. I can't even be a juror. They won't elect me dog catcher, as they say. Anyway, so let's get in here. It's going to be all in Italian. If you want the subtitles, YouTube can do subtitles for you. I'm going to read it in Italian. Armonie in un bicchiere. Questo libro è per chiunque desideri proporre anche in casa raffinati cocktail, long drink e aperitivi. Queste deliziose bevande si basano sull'unione sapiente di distillati, liquori, succhi, infusi e soft drink. I barman che li hanno ideati possono venire considerati dei veri e propri artisti, esperti nelle armonie del gusto e degli aromi. E per questa ragione che a fianco di alcuni cocktail viene riportato il nome del proprio ideatore. I ferri del mestiere. You want to see what the ferri del mestiere is all about? What you're gonna need. What you're gonna need is that. Un barman, basically a barman, più o meno professionista deve avere a disposizione determinati utensili. Vediamo insieme quali. So let's see what you're gonna need to be a barman. You're gonna need a stool. Don't go making stools. Don't go chasing waterfalls. Anyway, per mischiare. Mixing glass. You're gonna need a mixing glass. Bicchiere tronco conico in vetro di notevole capacità, adatto alla miscelazione di vari ingredienti per l'ottenimento di cocktail e la long drink. It's funny how so many of these words are actually English. Anyway, you're gonna need a shaker. Contenitore in metallo e chiusura ermetica a forma di 2 tronchi di cono uniti per la base maggiore, costituito da 3 pezzi smontabili serve per la miscelazione di ingredienti nella preparazione dei cocktail. Isn't this fun? Isn't this fun, guys? You need a Boston shaker. Let's get a Boston shaker. Contenitore per la miscelazione degli ingredienti di origine americana è formato da un pezzo di vetro, uno di metallo che vengono incastrati uno nell'altro per consentire una tenuta ermetica al momento dello scuotimento degli ingredienti. So cool, guys. It's so cool. It's Italian. Don't you want it? Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Anyway, so let's see. I'm putting away stuff. I can't find a thing to put in this book so that I can remember what to read you guys next in the tomorrow. You guys want to watch an Italian guy talk some crap in Italian about making cocktails? You can see it right here on this ridiculous channel of death. Because after all, I'm the peskiest, most conniving son of a gun that you'll ever meet. But I am coachable, and I'm quite nice, and I'm so beta that the world won't even let me be a postman. They won't. I have to wait a whole year. It ain't no joke. If I want to be a postman, I gotta wait a whole year to reapply to be a postman. So with that said, guys, remember how they said on this show, the alpha males on this show said that women 40s and above, divorcees, you're finished, you're worthless. Well, guess what? Y'all can use my DNA. Y'all can use my DNA to make more of me. I'm the perfect beta for you. I will cook. I will clean. I clean up nice. Look at the suit. I clean up nice. I'll shave. You guys can clone me like in Oblivion. Tom Cruise was cloned as the perfect soldier to do that task. Well, I am the perfect beta for the perfect alpha woman. In her 40s, divorced. She made her money. She just needs love. Only love, because I can't provide any of this. I ain't got game. I ain't got money. But I got love. I'll learn to make cocktails too. I'm a good plumber. Anyway, guys, with that said, if you see me on Highway 69 asking people for some spare PayPal and wondering why the world never went for that Prop 69, here's the reason. Here's the reason for the season to be jolly. And with that said, guys, I will see you all tomorrow for more on, because I am a moron. Cocktails, finance. And just in case you hadn't bought this, remember, all the money goes to Grandmaster Tom Wong. It doesn't go to me. Get yourself this cool book, Secret Origin of Wing Chun. It's fun. It's on Amazon. Go buy it. And with that said, guys, I'll see you all tomorrow, because I'm dependable.